Scientists have concluded that there is nothing inside human mind. Neurons are assigned particular tasks, yet we don't know if there is any set of neurons that is responsible for language. By the age of 4 or 5 years, a child becomes linguistically adult and begins to speak. By the age of 4 to 5 years, he begins to speak grammatically good sentences. Notion of native language refers to the ability to comprehend its sentences which have never been heard or spoken. So that is the notion of native language speaker. A native language, that's the notion of native language, that its speaker is able to comprehend its sentences which have never ever been heard before. Children don't learn a language based on specific instructions, right? Nothing like, oh, you have to arrange this, then you have to arrange that, X, then Y. Nothing like that. All languages of the world have limited number of sounds. It is very, very limited. As in, you can count them. That's countable. Limited number of sounds. All languages of the world share sounds with one another. It's not like some language has this sound and the other one doesn't have it. Majority of the sounds of this language are going to be into this language, so they share sounds. Language boundaries are so porous. They have loopholes inside them. All sounds must have combination of vowels and consonants. So all sounds are going to have either vowels or a combination of vowel and a consonant. No words can be made without a vowel sound. That is a must. Most common combination of sounds is CV. Majority of words include sound of CV. We can have a word only with vowels. So we can have a word can contain just vowels, but that's not possible with consonants. So just a consonant can not make a word. It needs alphabets to make a sound. Zoyas. So we do not learn, as kids, we do not learn 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. No. We learn the mechanism. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. That's not what we learn. What we learn is, we learn the process involved in that. There's scientific evidence that language works in the same way. How does it work? Well, it works in this way, where we learn the process. We don't learn what it is. Okay? When you learn the process of addition, when you learn the process of adding, that process, when you're learning to add, whereas that's not the case with, I don't know, why is it it should have been language. Okay. So when you're learning language, you are unconscious of it. Learning through practice and repetition. Practice and repetition, that is the behaviorist hypothesis. What behaviorism says, that you get a stimulus and then you respond. That's how you learn a language. That's what behaviorists say, that input is equal to the output. How much you receive of the stimulus is how much response or output you are going to make out of it. That's what behaviorist hypothesis is. That behaviorists gave the theory that learning a language is a matter of habit formation. So you form a habit of speaking a language, and that's how you end up speaking a language. That's what behaviorists define this as. But the innateness hypothesis, what does this say? The poverty of stimulus. Input is limited. That's poverty of stimulus. Innate means inbuilt. Innate, that we're talking about innateness hypothesis. Innate means inbuilt. Language computation is part of generative mechanism. Language computation is part of generative mechanism. Behaviorism was limited to repetition, copying, etc., which was not a part of human behavior. So stimulus and response, that is repetition or copying, is not human behavior. Human behavior involves creativity. Repetition and copying is not human. Listening plus repeating is equal to behaviorism. No role of human creativity in here. An imperfect stimulus, that is poverty of stimulus or improper input, which the child gets the noise which he hears. So human mind is capable of making sense of imperfect stimulus. Human mind can process that noise. It can process that noise and make sense of that imperfect stimulus.